On the day that something awful happened to me, my dad promised that it would not change my life. And really, thanks to the latest medical developments, I started to look like a normal person again. Until I was at the airport and set off all the security alarms, scared people, and shocked my new boyfriend. My name is Alice, and for the last 2 years now, I have felt like a cyborg. I've always wanted to have some kind of superpower, like Captain Marvel, for example. At the age of 18, my childhood dream came true. In a sense. Only it wasn't cool at all. After all, now I am the happy owner of an innovative development, a bionic prosthesis. Basically, I have an artificial leg. But I don't get myself down about it. I stopped hating the whole world about a year ago. It's nobody's fault that at 18, I was diagnosed with knee cancer with metastases all over my leg. The only way out was amputation. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it. It was hard to wake up in the hospital after surgery and continue to feel the leg I no longer had. And then I get home, just started getting used to my new artificial leg, and I get a text message from a guy saying that he couldn't be with me anymore. A text! Not even a call. We had been dating since we were 15, and he always liked to say that we would always be together. But without all my parts, I was no longer attractive. I sank into the couch and started watching TV shows. I didn't want to do anything else. My dad and sister encouraged me to run, swim, and dance. Oh, really? I told them. Maybe I'll go to the beach like I used to and let everyone look at the cyborg in a bikini? I was not ready for that. I made friends on the internet with a girl who was born without her left arm. She would tell me about how cool she was with her new bionic arm, that she could grab eggs out of boiling water with it and give her boyfriend such a good massage that he would squeal with delight. But I knew what life was like with a fully formed person. It was awesome. But on her advice, I signed up for Tinder. That's how she found her boyfriend. That's how I met, let's say his name was Dumbass. No, total dumbass. We wrote to each other for several weeks and agreed to finally meet. The date went well. He didn't realize that I had a prosthesis. After all, my leg looked normal under clothes. But naively, I decided that it would be honest to tell him the truth. On the second date, I told him that I had a major operation the previous year and that my right leg had been amputated. He asked me to show him the prosthesis. I have a button on it that rotates my leg 360 degrees. I said goodbye to total dumbass and prepared myself to be an old maid for the rest of my life. I didn't want to meet anyone else. Quite by accident, I saw a message from a guy with this stupid username, Survivor20. He asked me what I liked to do, and I asked him what made him come up with such a stupid name. Then he told me that he had leukemia as a child. He tried to register under his own name, but all the suitable options were already taken. By the way, his name is John, and he was 20 then. So we started messaging each other, and then calling. I didn't tell John about my prosthesis. I wanted him to talk to me like a normal person, without a tinge of poorly concealed pity or disgust. I agreed to a date after 5 months. I was very worried that he would notice my cyber leg. Even more so, I was worried that he could turn out to be a jerk. But none of that happened. I really liked John. He invited me to spend the weekend with him in New York. He would be paying for the plane tickets. I was nervous. I knew that I would have to tell him everything. It's all I could think about, and I completely forgot about what was waiting for me at the airport. When I went through the metal detector, the signal went off. I was asked to take off my mantle and walk through again, but my innovative prosthesis kept setting the alarm off. I was in a panic. I couldn't let John find out like this. I was instructed to go through the scanner, but I refused. The guards surrounded me, and I insisted that I be examined separately and that there was some kind of mistake. There was a line behind me. John had a surprised look on his face. Some idiot shouted, "Bomb!" and people started panicking. Some of the kids even started crying. Everyone was staring at me. I had never felt so embarrassed. I didn't want a bunch of police officers with dogs involved, so I told one of the officers that I had a doctor's note that would explain everything. I spoke as quietly as possible. The officer screamed, "Why are you whispering, dear? What are you sick of there, you say?" Crap! I was afraid to even look at John. I just wanted it to end soon. I showed them the documents and they started reading them aloud. Several times they repeated among themselves, prosthesis, no leg, disabled. And then I went through the scanner. The most delicate of the staff told me, "It's okay, honey. Now we see that you have a prosthesis." So went my epic journey through security. I immediately ran to the bathroom. I was humiliated. And I had lost John. I cried for a few minutes, and when I came out, John was waiting for me. He asked why I hadn't told him right away. He told me that he had seen everything in the hospital while he was ill, and that it would be difficult to scare him off. After we got back from New York, John didn't break up with me. We've been together for over a year now. I still have a complex about my prosthesis, but I'm working on it. Plus, John supports me. Now I agree that my life can be wonderful and fulfilling even now. The important thing is not to forget that and to enjoy every day. Well, that was my story. Perhaps it will help someone cope with their problem and never give up. Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly, and I made a big mistake when I shared the news of my success with my parents. Here's what happened to me. One day, our whole family was having dinner together. Mom, Dad, and my older sister. I had $1,000 in my hands. I had saved that much in just 2 months. And so I say, "Look how much I made on TikTok." And you didn't believe me. Now I have money. I earn my own money. Isn't that awesome? The surprise failed. When my older sister showed them that she learned how to twerk, they were delighted. Now I understand that I shouldn't have told my parents anything. My money would completely change them. I'm basically considered insane. Here's what happened next. I had an ordinary life. I, like you, was addicted to TikTok and Instagram, watched Netflix, and went to school. But I got lucky and was able to monetize my TikTok and Instagram pages with various tutorials for girls. This brought me income as well as a lot of problems. After my failed surprise with my wad of money, my mother came up to me and seriously asked if I could lend her $300. No problem, Mom. I was glad that she was finally paying attention to me and talking to me like an adult. But after a couple of days, she asked for more, and then more and more. And then she stopped looking for work and settled on the couch in her favorite robe to watch a stupid TV series. Of course, with a bottle of wine. When I came home from school, it wasn't even 5 p.m. Mom pounced on me. Where had I been? She said that she needed to have a serious conversation with me. She and my dad thought about it and had come to the conclusion that, since I wasn't 18 yet, they should manage my income. After all, I live in their house, eat their food, and use their internet and electricity. Holy how much did she drink before coming up with that? They said I at least owed them a percentage of my earnings. Mom told me to wipe the look off my face because my class trip to France was coming up and I wouldn't be able to go without my parents' written consent. That's blackmail. After that, I was so depressed that I didn't post a single new video for a week. But I gave my parents $500, which I supposedly owed them. And after a while, I started supporting my older sister. I just bought a new iPhone. Mom called me over and told me to give her $1,000 2 weeks in advance. Better yet, to stop acting like a bitch and buy a new phone for my sister. I asked her why I owed her anything. To this, my mother replied that we are one family and so we help each other. I didn't need a reason to do something nice for my beloved sister. What the fuck? That sentimental bullshit almost made me lose it. But I saw no point in arguing, so we went to pick out a new iPhone for my sister. And then I paid to fix the newly purchased broken phone. I started feeling like I was trapped at home, It disgusted me to look at them all. Half a year passed that way, and then the holidays began. And I met a guy. He and I had been texting online for several months, but had never met. I told him about my problems with my family, and then he texted me that I needed to bust out of there. He invited me to go with him and his friends for a couple of weeks to a sports camp. I gave my mom $500 and subtly mentioned that I was leaving with friends for a couple of weeks. Don't lose me. None of them even thought about me for a week, and then it was like something snapped. They were texting and calling me, asking when I would be back, and whether I could at least transfer them some money. Damn. I was even embarrassed to tell my friends. Their parents didn't miss them because of money. When I got back, my hair stood on end from the way they twisted everything. They were saying that I hadn't warned them and just disappeared, and that I must be on something if I don't remember that. And that was a month before my 18th birthday. I had to shell out $1,000 to calm them down, and also constantly lie that I love them and would never leave them, that I would live with them after graduation. But then that day came, my 18th birthday. When it was over, I packed up my stuff and walked out of the house. No, I escaped from that nightmare. They were begging me not to leave. They were literally on their knees. Idiots. I told them, sayonara, and we never saw each other again. I have been living on my own for over a year now. I'll be 20 soon. I rarely call my parents because all they do is accuse me of being a bad daughter since I don't want to help my family. And they demand that I send them money because they raised me and all that. But I won't give them another cent. I never want to see them again. I think I'm doing the right thing. What do you think? Well, that's all. Believe in yourself and never try to live for someone else. You will definitely succeed.